so I'm Jo Emerson. I'm a confidence coach. I'm now an author, which is like a life ambition, and a human behaviour expert. I'm here today to talk to you about, well, what do you think I'm here to talk to you about? You might think I'm here to flog my book. Well, I'm not really. I mean, if you want to buy one, buy one. But, and you might think I'm here to talk about this, coaching. That's me, coaching someone, as you can see, in a very nice dress. You might think I'm here to help you start feeling a little bit like Wonder Woman. Anyone here want to feel like Wonder Woman? This morning, the boys, particularly well done, so yeah, great. Or you might think I'm here to help you feel like this, you know, like this guy here, all suited and booted and confident and ready to go. You might even think that confidence looks something like this, and I'd be here to talk to you about this. But actually, I'm not here to talk to you about any of this stuff. I'm here to talk to you about these two little words here, fear and love. So what do you think when I say to you that I'm here to talk to you about fear and love? Are you thinking, hold on, she's a confidence coach, why is she here to talk to me about fear and love? Or what's fear and love got to do with confidence? In my coaching practice, the bulk of my work, most of my work, is about helping people understand when they're listening to fear and how it is causing their lack of confidence or their lack of self-belief, their lack of self-esteem. And then what I do is help them plug into a more loving voice. And I do that with individuals, I do that with businesses, I do that on a big corporate level, small business level. Essentially, my work is about these two words, and it's just about these two words. So what I would like to do to kick off is ask you all to write down on a piece of paper, write down 3 emotions for me. Just any emotion you can think of. Could you write it down? It could be happy, it could be worried, it could be excited. I just want a load of different words. Can I have 3 emotions from everybody in the audience, please? How did you wake up feeling this morning, for example? Tired? Fed up? Raring to go? Can't wait to hear Jo Emerson speak. I've heard she gets people crying. Oh. I won't get you crying today. So 3 emotions. Any emotions you can think of. And write them down for me. I don't have long for this, people. Anyone? Ooh. Ooh. Did you both say passion? Okay, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Okay. Okay. So if we were to boil down all emotions, I believe they live in either this camp in their rawest form or this camp in their rawest form, or both. Passion, where would you sit that, Robin? I know, the pair of you. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Passion. Although, of course, we could be passionately angry and want to stab our ex, for example. Not recommending that, in which case it would live over here. But generally, we would say that passion, that lovely energy that drives us, would sit over here. Okay, someone give me another emotion, please. Anyone, just shout them out. Joy. Joy, okay. So clearly, joy is going to live over here, right? If anyone disagree? Am I allowed to put joy over there? Great, okay. Give me an emotion. Contentment, okay? Where do you want me to put that one? This side? Cool. I should really be watching my handwriting, seeing as I'm being filmed. Yeah, okay, Robin, thanks. Yes, you should, Jo. Give me another emotion. Sadness, okay. When we feel sad, what are we sad about often?
Loss, love, maybe.
Okay. And what are we, so if we're sad about love, what's actually going on? Loss. Huh? Fear. Fear of?
Loss.
Fear of loss, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear that I'll never be happy again. So sadness would live over here. Yeah. A lot of my clients are sad, and actually when we drill down into what's going on, they're actually afraid that they'll never be happy again, and that's why they're sad. It's exacerbating the sadness. It's not a clean sadness. There's the sadness, and then there's all the kind of fear around the sadness, which is blocking the person just feeling the sadness and then moving into a new space. Yeah, fear. Thank you very much, sadness. Anyone else got an emotion for me?
Determination.
Huh?
Determination.
Oh, determination. Oh. Where would you sit that one?
I think it's right.
Do you? Yeah. That one can be driven by either. Like, there are some people in this world, and I used to be one, who are so fearful it makes them very determined to show everybody that they're good enough, or to continually strive for that thing over there and not be in the moment now, getting away from themselves, for example. But similarly, we can be very determined, and that can be based in love. That can be, I'm determined to love my partner, no matter what, for example. So yes, determination lives in the middle. Okay, give me another emotion. Guilt. There he is. Thank you. I'm assuming, who said guilt? Was it you? Are you happy for me to put guilt over?
Oh, yeah.
Over there? Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. It's never, ever, ever attached to this word. However, when we love people, we can often feel guilty, and we think it's because we love them so much that we feel guilty. It's not. It's because we're afraid that we're not good enough, or we're not giving them enough, or whatever, whatever. It's a fear-based emotion, definitely. Another emotion? Nothing from this table? Oh, no, we have had one from this table yet. You people in the corner, give me an emotion.
Yeah, if you'd asked me yesterday, I would have said anxiety, anxious. But I got over it yesterday.
Okay.
I'm all right today.
Good. But where would you sit that one?
Happy,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Frustration. Where would you put that one? Fear. Yeah. Do you understand the link between the two? Yeah, or wanting things to be different to the way they are. Yeah, it's not going my way. That's an ego-based fear response. Yeah. Frustration. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I saw a hand go to an eye, but it looked like you were offering me a word.
Grief.
Grief. Where am I going to put grief? Yeah. Very similar fear to the sadness. Fear. Yeah. Fear of, often there's a sense of abandonment, which is a fear of being alone. Left. Can't cope without, yeah. Cynicism. Over here. Thank you so much. Have I spelled that right? If I spelled it right? Okay, there's a fear-based response. So yeah, cynicism. People often use cynicism as a mask and as a wall and as a suit of armour. But actually, if I meet a really cynical person, I'm pretty sure they're really quite scared. Yeah. Let me have some more. Have you got one for me, Tom? Everyone puts your hand to your face, you're going to get asked. Just to warn you.
I just put on my moustache.
I know, okay. Or the moustache, yeah.
I would say grief is both.
Okay, explain to me.
Because surely grief is a love response to a loving emotion if you've lost someone you love.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll have grief over here as well. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's depending on how the grief is being expressed. A lot of grief tends to come with a lot of anger. There are 5 stages of grief. I'm sure you all know what they are. And the anger stage would be here. Yeah, when we reach the acceptance stage, then we can be in grief but still be rooted in love. Yes. Great point. Thank you. Okay. So actually that should probably come along this line here, but it's, yeah. More emotions. Enthusiasm. Great. Where would you put that one? Yes. Yes. I would say. Okay. We'll take a couple more. Stressed. Where shall I put that one?
It's probably a fear of not getting everything done.
Yes, and fear of what people might think of you if you don't get it done, and fear of failure, and fear of, stress, for sure, is a fear-based response.
Reticence.
Huh?
Reticence.
Reticence. Wow, where would you put that one? In all my days, I've never had reticence. Thank you. Okay. Anyone got any others they'd like to? I'm getting squidged by the projector. Any more? Excited. Where would you put that one? Yeah. It could be both, although it would probably be more like mania. It was over here. There's a different energy to it. If you're just excited and cleanly excited and happy to be excited, you're cool. This word love will be expanded. If you're if you're more manic, it's because actually you're trying to force something maybe to happen. So if we're going to boil all of our emotions down to love or fear, then I would then argue that all of the world's problems live on this side, and everything that's good in the world probably stems over here. Can anyone think of a reason that that might not be true?
Yeah, you don't have a preference.
So can you think of something in the world that's good that's also rooted in fear?
Religion.
Okay. Would you like to explain why you think religion is good but rooted in fear?
Well, it's divisive.
Okay. Okay.
Creates conflict.
Yeah.
Most conflict.
Okay.
It's also
But
fear
it's
of,
based on love,
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
not being accepted, isn't it?
A fear of
You're
not being
you're
accepted.
If you don't do this, you will not get into the pearly gates. Therefore, it's a fear of
Right.
achieving
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Be someone else's deep-rooted identity for a particular faith or religion or spiritual whatever comes from a very good place of love
Mhm.
for one section of our community or our culture,
Mhm.
but for another,
Yeah.
it creates huge amounts of fear.
Yes.
So there's this disconnect.
Right. Yes.
Disjointed
Yeah.
view of the world and the reality of how we
Yeah.
live.
So I'm not religious at all, but I have friends who practice various different faiths, and those who I would say have what you would maybe describe as an active spirituality or an active faith would definitely sit over this side, and they quietly get on with it. And their expression of their faith is an act of love. However, we've all seen what's going on in the world in the name of religion, and that would live on over this side. I can't think of a problem in the world, like a major world problem that isn't rooted in fear somehow. For example, say the way we're destroying our planet. That's actually fear-based because it's all about money, essentially. We're destroying our world because we all want, companies want to make more money by producing more stuff. And actually, fear of financial insecurity drives everyone's want for more and more stuff. If you like, more success. And that's fear-based. And similarly, I can't think of anything that's lovely in the world that's not rooted over here. It's essentially about taking or about giving?
Also about ego.
And ego. Okay, we're going to come on to that. But yes, this is an ego-based response to life. And this would be a non-ego-based response to life. Okay. So essentially, I have learnt personally over the last probably 10 years and through work with my clients that every time I listen to fear, I feel anxious, I contract, my ego kicks in, and then I make decisions from a place of low, stressed energy. So in short, I disable myself emotionally. Every time I'm listening to fear, I'm not giving myself the best opportunity for a decent decision, a happy day, a good relationships. However, when I listen to love, I feel at peace. I expand, truth permeates my mind, I exist in the moment, which is all we've actually got, and I make wiser decisions. In short, I empower myself. And that, in a nutshell, is what I do as a coach, as a confidence coach. I do that with businesses as well. So you're probably thinking, well, how do I know which is which? Anyone been going, that's really easy for you to do, Joe, you've been doing this a long time. How do we know which is which? How do we know when we're listening to fear or we're listening to love? Anyone got any ideas? How it feels in your body, exactly. Yeah. The trick is start noticing how you feel. And it's incredible how many of us are living with a permanent sense of stress or dread or slight anxiety, and that's driving us, and that's causing the determination that could sit in either camp. When we notice how we feel, we can start making some changes if we want to. So, for those of you who were here last year, we're going to get a quick recap. For the rest of you, this is probably, I hope, going to be something new. So last year, when I was here, I was talking about the different voices in our heads. Can anyone remember that? Thank you. Well done. What I'd like you all to do, please, is close your eyes. I'm not going to hypnotize you. I'm not going to do anything with your brains. I just want you to close your eyes so you can relax. And I've got my eyes open so I can see anyone who's cheating. So please all close your eyes. Thank you very much. If you all close your eyes, you're all going to be happy that no one's watching you closing your eyes. And what I'd like you to do, please, is locate that voice or plug into that voice that will often tell you that you're not good enough, or that you need to worry about paying the bills next month, that this is a scary world, that you're a terrible partner, you're not good enough as a parent, there are other people who are better than their jobs than you. Anyone struggling to find that voice, or are we all pretty familiar with that voice? Put your hand up if you're struggling to find that voice. No one is struggling to find. One person struggling to find that voice. Okay. It's the voice of doubt, self-doubt, or fear. It might just be a little niggly voice that says other people are better than you. It might just slightly question everything you do, or be slightly cynical. It's maybe the voice that says, I can't close my eyes because people might look at me and I might look silly with my eyes closed. Okay, so you found that voice, and I'd like you now to think, please, about where that voice might actually live. If you were to pinpoint a place in your body, where might it live? I'll give you a clue. It tends to be around the head. Sometimes it's above the head, behind the head, to the side of the head, but it tends to be around there. If you are thinking it's in your heart, your tummy area, that's what you're feeling in response to the voice. The voice is different, separate. And when you've found this voice, could you please point to where it is about your body? If it's not in your head, there's not a problem. But just point so I know everyone's found it. Okay, yep. Cool. Everyone got, I think everyone. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. Anyone not found it? Everyone know where? Close your eyes, please. Everyone know where it is? Okay. So when that voice pipes up and tells you all of this stuff, how do you feel? Anyone feel really empowered when they listen to this voice? Anyone think, yeah, I'm the best, I can do this? And how loving do you feel when you listen to this voice? Yeah, not very. Okay. Now, when you listen to this voice, you will have a feeling response, yeah? Where do you feel your feelings? Some of us feel them in our chests, some our tummies, some in between the two. Some people feel it in their arms. Please close your eyes. Some people feel it down their legs. Could you please put a hand where you feel your feelings? Great. So anybody not? Some of you will feel it in your whole body. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a completely made-up story. And you'll see why I needed to tell you that when I tell you the story. So I've got 3 daughters. One's 12, one's 9, and one's just turned 8. Beth, Eva, and Nancy. And they're full of life and full of fun and full of joy and hard work. And I obviously love them to bits. Now, I'd like you to imagine, please, that I am not an encouraging mum. I'd like you to imagine that actually I'm quite cruel. And I'm not with my children. I'd just like to point that out. They may disagree, but yeah, we're a very encouraging, loving family. But I'd like to imagine the opposite. I'd like to imagine that actually I'm really quite cold and that maybe I'm quite jealous of my daughters. And I want you to imagine that Nancy, my little ginger redhead with the curly, spirally hair, bounds home from school one day, runs into the kitchen, and you're in my kitchen with me, and she says, Mummy, Mummy, you'll never guess what? They've made me school captain at school. I'm going to get a badge, and I'm going to be school captain, and I'm going to make big decisions about school. And imagine I say to her, why on earth would they pick you? What do you have to offer? You're not good enough for that. They should have picked Poppy next door. How is Nancy going to feel? Now you know where you feel your feelings, right? Because you're feeling on behalf of Nancy. Now, in my imaginary kitchen, in this imaginary scenario that would never happen, I would like you to now imagine that I've nipped off into the garden to get some herbs for dinner or whatever, and you're left alone with Nancy, and she's crying. And you're going to crouch down and you're going to speak to Nancy, kindly maybe. What might you say to her? Just have a think. What would you say to Nancy? And then before you open your eyes, where did you find that voice that you spoke to Nancy from? Because it won't be in the same place. I accessed that voice, that loving, wise, kind voice, right at the pit of my guts. You may access yours from a different place, but where is it? Because it is not up there with that chatterbox, that niggly-naggly chatterbox. You find that kinder, wiser, gentler voice that's objective, that lives in the moment, that can be encouraging in a different place. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, so in that scenario, I was the horrible critical voice, yeah? I was the adult, the parent, the finger wagger, yeah? The critic, the gremlin, the godhead, the angry godhead, whatever you want to call it. Nancy was the child, the feeling centre, where we feel our stuff. And then you guys were the wise voice. Tell me, what did some of you say to Nancy in your imagination after I'd gone into the garden to pick rosemary? Mummy needs a holiday. Mummy always needs a holiday. What did you say to her? What did you say to her?
I'm sure you'll be good at it.
I'm sure you'll be good at it. Great, yeah. Enjoy it. Lovely. And I'm sure you'll be good at it. Great, yeah. You gave her the number for Childline. Yeah. Yeah. What did anyone...
I reassured her that you didn't mean it.
Ah, nice. Yeah. Because what was going on for Mummy then? That's Mummy's problem. Yeah, right. Yeah, Mummy's clearly jealous or stressed or mean or whatever.
I said they picked her for a reason. They picked her because she's good and she deserves, she...
Brilliant. So you used an encouraging voice with her. You told her the truth. Yeah, okay.
I said, don't listen to her. I
Yeah.
said, you've been selected, you've been chosen your whole school year.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So the way I spoke to Nancy in the imaginary scenario was how you all speak to yourselves when you're plugged into that voice of fear, the critic. We all speak really badly to ourselves unless we've stopped. But we are programmed culturally to be really tough on ourselves. And I didn't say anything particular. I mean, obviously it was horrible, but I wasn't like, I wasn't using really awful language. I wasn't being really violent. I was just saying, you're not good enough. Why would they choose you? Why could you do that? Anyone here not said that to themselves ever? Okay. And how do you feel when you speak like that to yourselves? Tell me, how do you feel? Huh?
Shocking.
Shocking. How else do you feel? Thank you. Like shit. Yes, this is going on the internet. Like shit. Beep. I've done it for you. There you go. There's a beep. How else do you feel? Empowered? Down?
Small.
Up? Small. Great. What was that? Discouraged. Yeah. Tearful. Yeah. Fearful probably as well. Yeah. Okay. So you guys can choose. You can speak to yourself from that head, ego, critical space. You can speak to yourselves with fear. And you speak to yourself in fear, you're going to get a load of this. Sadness, guilt, anxiety, frustration, grief, cynicism, stress, reticence. That driven determination that's actually a determination to prove others wrong, not to give and bless. But you can also choose to speak to yourself from a place of love, wisdom, truth, kindness. And for that you will get passion, joy, contentment, clean grief, or grief that you can cope with, grief that is appropriate, enthusiasm, excitement. And it is a choice. And it's a choice I make on a moment by moment by moment basis. I catch myself still listening to that voice, feeling fear. It doesn't go away. But today I have a choice. Do I listen to it or do I flip over to here? And I do that because I'm noticing how I feel. Just want to read you a little bit from here. The critical voice, the fearful voice, your ego, believes certain things to be true. The first thing it believes is that worrying affects outcomes. Who has ever achieved anything by worrying? Tell me. Has anyone actually ever achieved what they want in the worrying? No. That critical voice, that fearful voice, also believes, I can't cope. Anyone disagree with that? Or when you're in that fearful place, you're thinking, I won't cope, I can't cope with this. The critical voice believes that it matters what other people think of you. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. I mean, it can matter, but it's more important that you love yourself. Sorry, I shouldn't bash that, should I? Sorry, everyone. That's far more important. The critic also believes if you can't do it perfectly, don't try. Anyone suffer with that one? The critic believes my past defines me. I am angry because of what happened to me as a child. I can't do X because of what happened to me as a child. You can continue to believe that, and our childhoods do affect us, of course they do. But we as adults can choose to move past that. The critic believes that mistakes are bad. Mistakes aren't bad. Unless you choose to believe they are. Mistakes are mistakes. The critic believes that my emotions will overwhelm me. I was only talking to someone before about a big emotional thing, and I was saying, go for it, just go and feel the feelings. And it's like, but who will I be afterwards? How will I cope afterwards? The emotions might overwhelm me. They might, but it'll be like a tidal wave. It'll be over and gone. Emotions don't overwhelm us if we allow them. If we don't allow them and bury them, they seep through us like a poison. This is all fear-based stuff. And the last thing the critic believes is that bad feelings are to be avoided. Well, bad feelings are telling you something. They're telling you that you need to do a bit of work on yourself. telling you that maybe you need to listen to some wisdom, some love, some truth a bit more. So I would like you all, please, to now think of a scenario in your lives that you are currently struggling with. Something that is a problem, someone who's upsetting you, something that you're either worried about or you can't achieve, or you think, oh, there's just no way I'm ever going to get that sorted. A problem or a challenge. Can you think of a problem or a challenge? Anyone not got any problems or challenges right now? If so, please come and tell me how you do it. Everyone got something? Everyone got a pen and paper? Could you please write down in one sentence what your problem or challenge is, please? And now I would like you, please, to plug into your little fearful voice and ask it and write down what it says. What does it say about this problem? It'll probably start with, you should. It's a great way to know you're listening to your critical voice. You should, or you shouldn't. You should have. Write down what it's telling you about this problem or challenge. What does fear say? It might be saying, oh, don't bother. Just don't bother. You can't solve this, so don't bother trying. And what are the consequences of believing what this fearful voice says? So when you believe this fearful voice, what are the consequences regarding your challenge or your problem? Huh? You won't achieve it. Can you write that down? Yeah, you feel like you can't achieve it. Thank you. Slow down, definitely. Write that down. Anyone else? Altering your course. So yeah, maybe coming off. Yeah, be getting distracted from what you want to do. Yeah.
Start to be really hard on yourself.
Right. So if you're hard on yourself, how empowered do you feel to get this thing sorted? Not very. Okay. Yeah. So it can often, just listening to that voice can often cause you to stop before you've even started, if you like. Or you attack it from a place of fear and tightness rather than this open, well, I'll have a go and see what comes. We often as well, when we're listening to this voice here, become very controlling. And we expect other people to do things our way, and we expect the exact outcome to be given to us that we've decided upon. And if we can't have that, I'll be with you. If we can't have that, not going to bother. Quite toys out of pram, childish kind of response. Yes?
I think we can misinterpret the situation.
Yes, right. Yeah, go on. Give me some more about that.
Where it's not productive.
Right. So you start making something.
It doesn't become positive. It becomes
Yes, right. Yeah, we can tell ourselves a load of lies that become bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, that's a massive, massive point. Yeah, the molehill and mountain scenario. If we're listening to that voice, something that's surmountable but tricky becomes this huge thing I can't possibly do. And what will they think of me when I can't do it? So I just won't try. You know, the major consequence of listening to this fearful voice is we just feel horrible about ourselves. We're not in the moment. We're away. We're either in the past telling ourselves how we didn't do it before, or in the future worrying about what will happen when we don't. We're not here busy planning or doing. We're busy worrying. And we've already established that worrying does nothing but just cause us to worry more. Okay. Now I'd like to ask you about your problem or your challenge, and you can write this down. If you knew everything was going to work out okay, it might not work out exactly the way you want it to, but it will work out okay. The right thing will happen if you put some effort in. What would you do? If you knew this was all going to be all right. So it's not what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail, but what would you do if you knew everything would work out, would be okay? That you'd find a way, that someone will pop along and probably offer their assistance, and that you'll end up with maybe a better outcome than the one you think you want, or a more appropriate outcome. What would you do? What would you say to yourself? How would you feel about your problem, your challenge?
Plan for that new situation.
Plan for the, okay. And how would your energy be? Good, yeah, more relaxed, more open, Yeah. Yeah. Just do some writing. How would you feel? What would you do? What would you say if you were listening to love? And this word love could also be wisdom, could also be truth, could also be openness, acceptance, joy. Yeah. It's a positive, it's a gentle word. And what would the wise, if you can't access this voice yourself or you're struggling, what would the wisest person you know say about your problem or your challenge? What would they suggest? Or maybe it's a dear departed grandparent. What would they have said if they were here now? Or what would the Dalai Lama say? Or the Buddha? Or Obama? How he's up there with those guys, I don't know, but I think he's cool. What would love say? What would truth say? It's in there. We've all got it. We can all access deep wisdom, she says, touching her guts. It's there in all of us. You all found that voice to speak to Nancy in my kitchen. You've just got to use it on yourselves. Life becomes so much easier and simpler when we're listening to wisdom. Now, how do you feel? Write down how you feel. When you look at that, what you've written down from a loving place, from a wise place, how do you feel now about your problem?
It's doable, it's fine.
It's doable, yeah. And you often are able to see like little steps you need to take one by one, rather than the mountain. It becomes, there's a path, yeah. Anyone else? Energized, okay. Anyone realise it's not actually a problem, this thing you've been worrying about? I often get that. People go, oh, actually, I'm worrying about nothing. Oops. But that's great, right? Because then you can focus your energies on something you do need to be worrying about. Okay. I had so much more planned for today, but as usual, we've run over. So I'll leave you with this. Your daily question to yourself. In fact, I would say my hourly, minute by minute sometimes, question to myself. Am I listening to fear or love right now? When you're in fear, you're in ego. You believe that life's a battle, that it's a fight, that you have to struggle, you have to beat off the competition. That's not a cool way to live. That is an early grave right there. That's some cancer right there. If you're listening to love, you're more open, you're more relaxed, you're more able, you're more capable, you're open to yourself, to others, to what life's going to bring. And the days just become richer. So if you take nothing away from today apart from this, take that one away. Am I listening to fear or love right now? Any questions? We're done. Any questions?
Essentially, it's an inward and outward thing, isn't it?
An inward and outward
Fear
thing.
is inward looking, and love is outward looking.
Yeah.
So if you're inward looking, you're closed to anything new, and if you're outward looking, you're open, and
Yeah.
stuff happens
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that most neuroses and narcissism and personality disorders, you know, it's an extreme form of fear, and people become very, very closed and very self-absorbed because everything's too scary out there.
Yeah.
Whereas when we realise it's not scary out there, which we do by accessing more love, and we realise that, yeah, it's more open, and it's about being connected to the world rather than lost in the cave of self. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Huh? It's infectious. Definitely. Yep. Yeah. And then and the opposite's also true. And what's interesting is, you know, when we are in fear, we believe the world's a fearful place, and we seem to then get loads of evidence for that.
Which that's paranoia, doesn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, though no one ever lets me out when I'm driving, or, There's never a parking space, or everyone's horrible to me, rah, rah, rah. When we flip it and think, the world's a cool place, and I'm just playing my little part in it. Weirdly, suddenly there's a parking space, and people are letting me out, and I meet cool people, and I smile, and they smile back, and what we think, what we believe, does become our reality in a very funny kind of way. It's not the only truth, but it's one of the truths that I've discovered along this path. Any more questions? Go on, you go first, and then I'll come.
I was just wondering, some people become very successful from adversity, and it's
Yeah.
that drives them.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, perhaps they had a very bad upbringing.
Yep.
And they want to provide for their kids, or they
Yep.
want to do better in their career because they came from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming from fear, but obviously they've made success from
Yeah.
that, and I just wondered what you thought.
So what do I think about that? I think that there is, so there's worldly success. So you could look upon those people and think, yes, they are successful in terms of they have enough money, they have a nice home, they're providing for their children. And there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, that's all great. But I define success on peace of mind and how much love I have to give and the quality of each day. And so my success criteria may be different to those. And that's not saying they're not successful. I believe you can have both. And loads of people in my coaching practice are hugely successful in terms of the material and the career and the financial. But there's a disconnect internally, and then they'll come and do that piece of work. And then they have a gentler relationship with their past. And they don't lose their drive necessarily, but they're driven in other ways as well as the financial. A lot of my clients are very successful in worldly terms, but really, really lost to themselves. And they're like, there's something missing. I've got all this stuff, and yet I'm still not happy. And it's because it starts on the inside. So does that make sense? This worldly stuff's great. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not going to give us peace of mind ever. Who else had a question? Somebody was talking at the same time as this lovely lady. Hello. Oh, my book's... Oh, thank you. I don't know who she is. She's not a plant, I promise. My book is £8. Thank you. Anyone else? Are we done? Do I need to let you all go back to work? I think it's probably 9 o'clock. Let me see. 9:03. That's not bad, is it? Thank you all for coming. Thank you.